because I went to schools where there were white children, where it looked like Rainbow Nation, harmony. We are kumbaya, all is well. You know, you are there with Amy, but Kimberly is good. You all feel like you're equal. But then you get to the workplace and it's Amy's grandfather who owns the firm. You get to the workplace and it's Kimberly's father. They are not kumbayaring. They're still part of the old system, right?
I find it so interesting to hear from adults who have gone through a divorce as children, because as you know, I've been through a divorce and I know it from my lens as a parent and as the person going
and as the
through
adult.
it. Yes. And so it gives me such an insight as to what the child actually goes through. So speaking of your mentorship program, Sisters in Conversation, which is your podcast, sister-in-law, I know you also an attorney, notary, so you're working at a law firm as well. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a sister. How, and I'm going to say, how do you balance it? Because there is no balance. And you and I were speaking off camera just around some decisions that you've taken in this year to shift things a bit. So how have you done 10 years of that? And gradually, I think, obviously it gets busier, you know, as you go along. So how have you managed that balance? And what is this new shift?
Sure, the new shift is...
Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Legal Dish. If you're new here, welcome to the family. My name is Kundi Ramashia Dube, and we are just here in essence to share the journeys of legal professionals in a candid way, from across the spectrum, the highs, the lows, and everything in between, in a way that hopefully inspires and answers many of the questions that you have. But even if you have no interest in the law but love a good inspirational story, stick around. I promise you this episode will bless you. Speaking of this episode, I am very excited to introduce my guest. But I'm going to keep you guessing a little bit. Okay, so she's an attorney. She's a notary. She's a women's empowerment advocate. And I'm not going to read all her accolades because we'll be here for the whole episode. But the one that stood out for me is she's Mail and Guardian's top 50 powerful women. Top 50, guys. Let that sink in. Okay. But you probably all affectionately know her as your sister-in-law, Tebello Motshwane. Po, 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 po.
I was even feeling that build up, like,
yes, yeah, everybody's sister-in-law. I wanted them to guess. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, finally, hey.
Welcome back.
Thank you, my favorite troll. Guys, she's one of the people that accuse me of,
I accused you of when you found your husband.
Yes.
You then went away from the legal dish.
So I deserve this interview with you now.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Let's hope I don't get the roles reversed because I'm so used to being on the side of asking questions.
I was actually on your podcast a couple of years ago. Yeah, okay. I get to call the shots today.
I get to be on the other side, on the hot seat.
Yes, yeah. T, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here. I'm done trolling you. I'm done, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You look actually very good for someone who was being bullied by a toddler the whole December. I know you and I were fighting for our lives.
Bullied me. Oh my goodness, what a long holiday.
Yeah,
what a long holiday.
It was.
And it's actually also just a good time to really, for me, it was just such a reminder of the blessing that I have in,
the support,
our helper.
Yeah,
the support
you have
is incredible because you think that you are the glue.
Yeah,
but there's
you're
somebody
actually
literally who is working. It's not even that much behind the scenes. They are working with you to keep the structure up.
Yeah.
And when that little, or what you think is that brick,
then
the
the
whole house collapses. So
it
honestly,
makes you appreciate.
Shout out to everybody to all the women who are supporting us to do what we are able to do.
Yeah.
You know, the women who support us on the home front.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Invaluable. Thank you. Yeah. I ditto. Like nothing to add. Yeah.
That is the clue.
Yeah. Okay, T, we're going to take it all the way back. We want to get to know you from the beginning. So tell us about Tebello the child. What kind of child were you? Where did you grow up? Did you have siblings, or you're a spoiled only child? Parents? Yeah, give us the background.
I have siblings. I'm not a spoiled only child, but I am spoiled.
Okay. I love the honesty.
And it only took me growing up or reaching the stage of adulthood that I realized that, oh man, like my parents were really, you know, they were very, very protective, very, very loving, caring. What I thought was strict was just parents really just loving you unconditionally and wanting the best for you. So yeah, I grew up in various places. Some of the highlights being Zim, Lesotho, and SA, which was really because my dad was traveling. Well, I think maybe what we know it as today is like secondments. So just at the new dispensation of SA becoming what it was, we then moved to SA.
So it's around 94,
so 92. This was around 1995 because I went to a year of crèche and then I started grade 1.
Okay.
So it must have been 1995 because I started grade 1 in 1996.
Girl, we've been alive.
No wonder, guys. And then, so my earliest memory actually, even though I had a relatively good childhood, one of my earliest memories is my parents divorcing.
Okay.
Which would have been around 1997, 98.
Okay, so not long after you got back to South Africa.
Not long after we got back to SA. And that stands out for me because there was a time where I remember questioning my mom, like, okay, where is my dad? Like, he hasn't been here for some time. What's going on? And I remember her saying he's in hospital. And then pestering her to go visit him. And then the next memory I have of that is him coming to fetch me from school. And then we went to have ice cream. And then he was just like, no, I'm not coming back to the house.
Sure.
And that's like the earliest memory I have of like my parents separating and just being confused and wondering like, what does that mean? Are you not going to, like, what's going on, you know? But other than the divorce, I think the divorce is one of the highlights that I like using because it does then translate into the person I am today, right? But other than that, I had a really good childhood. Like I'm saying, I was spoiled. I don't think there was ever a time where I lacked anything. When I wanted Spice shoes.
You
Spice
also went
shoes,
through the phase.
I got the platform.
Yeah.
It was after all my friends had gotten Spice Girl shoes. But I remember, earlier on when we were speaking off the record, I said we never used to pester our parents for things. But them Spice Girl shoes,
you had to have them
because I was the only one in our Spice Girl group that didn't have them.
Which Spice were you?
I was Mel B.
Same here.
So, tell me what you want.
No.
Really want.
I was Sporty Spice.
Yeah. Oh, you're sporty. Yeah. So. You can't, if you want to be my lover, without Spice shoes. And all my friends now had them. So I was the only one in the group now. I was like, I'm holding the band back.
Yeah.
You know? I got Spice Girl shoes. So like I'm saying, I had a really good childhood at the time of my upbringing, it was just my brother and I, who are 4 years apart.
Okay, who's first?
We were really good friends. I'm first.
Oh, you're firstborn.
Firstborn. That's why I'm spoiler.
Okay, well, I have a different firstborn experience.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
parents are stricter on the firstborn.
But that's what I'm saying. Only now in my adulthood,
Yes,
I
you
realized
that they were
not strict.
Okay.
And I still am deputy mom.
Okay, okay.
They were not strict, man. They were just parents who wanted the best for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a good childhood. I went to really good schools. I started, when we moved to SA, I started at a school in Bryanston called Bryaneven.
Okay.
From Bryaneven, we moved to Midrand, and then I went to Midrand Primary.
Oh, okay. My brother went there.
Yeah, the Kailami kids. I was friends, Negele friends lady cheese when I was growing up. And then after Midrand Primary, where I completed grade 7, I went to Crawford College in Lone Hill. And then after Crawford College, I went and studied at UJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very fancy high school, Crawford College. You were one of the cheese. Like, just to go back to what you spoke about your parents' divorce, just a comment there that I find it so interesting to hear from adults who have gone through a divorce as children, because as you know, I've been through a divorce and I know it from my lens as a parent and as the person going
and as
through
the adult.
it. Yes. Yeah. And so it gives me such an insight as to what the child actually goes through. Yeah.
How old were you when you divorced?
I was, we're not on your podcast, but anyway.
I just want to see, because only now am I making sense of, so my mom, at the time that she was going through a divorce, she would have been around 33. And I look at my life when I was 33 and I'm like, this woman, like,
she held it together.
She held it together.
Yeah.
She really shielded us. She really protected us. She really worked so hard to give us a beautiful life, And for the most part, she ended up doing it alone. And that's how where I'm at with sister-in-law. She ended up doing it alone. And I'm just thinking, like at 33, I was still a baby, man.
Yeah.
All those things that she did for us.
Yeah.
All those sacrifices.
It forces you to grow up very quickly and to figure things out. I think I
Exactly.
was
all
around
the figuring out. Yes.
I was around the same age, 34, 35, somewhere there.
And at that time, my mom wasn't a career woman. She was a housewife.
Sure.
So having to
she had
start
to pick up the
having
pieces.
to go back to varsity to get her degree after getting divorced, after having been a housewife.
Yeah.
Get a degree, start 2-bedroom flat from coming from Zim, where we had private security on the yard and we had like 4 nannies, coming from that kind of life to having to struggle and sacrifice and work hard. Hard work is not easy,
It's
work hard and just make it work. Empower yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I've missed out on so many years because I was busy on the home front, which is not wrong, right? But that's what it ends up being.
It's where many women find themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was on the home front. I was very committed to this. I never thought that my life could change. I never thought that I'd have to be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And while she's upskilling, she must still feed you guys and be there for you emotionally.
And how she managed to do it without, only in my adult years, I then see the transition from staying in Sandton, coming to Midrand, also downgrading school-wise. I see why we needed to do that. But the quality of life from Sandton to Midrand didn't change that much. Yes, when we got here in 1997, 98, it was farms. But the quality wasn't, it's not like we downgraded to go back to the villages. It wasn't that kind of heavy downgrade. We didn't go from Sandton to maybe the township or from Sandton to back home villages. So still, I see now how difficult that process is.
Yeah. And I can just imagine from your, why your mom tried to shield you. I remember, and I can joke about it now. But my daughter was 3 years old, and then she walked into my 2-bedroom because you start from scratch. And then she was like, Mommy, where are the stairs?
Oh,
Did that not sink my heart? But now we can laugh about it. She's got her stairs. Everybody's happy.
They were.
No, and then once...
my darling, the stairs are not here. What do you mean?
Yeah. But to get back
shock.
on track, no, it was. And but I'm glad we can laugh about it now.
Absolutely.
We've been through the process. We're all good. But I want to go back. You went to a couple of primary schools. You traveled quite a bit. What kind of child were you in school? Were you popular? Were you timid, which I really doubt? Introverted? And also, how did you do academically?
Everybody who knows me and who's been with me throughout the years, they say that my toddler now is a taste of my own medicine.
I see it.
And I'm just like, I was not like this. I was regular. And but I see where people are coming from. But I definitely was always the outspoken person.
Okay.
Both primary and high school. I was definitely always the outspoken person. If there were people getting into trouble, I was there.
Okay, you're in the right career.
If there was detention, I was most likely there. If people were taking names of the people who were talking in class while the teacher
name was on that list.
My name was on the list.
Okay.
But I was also on the lists of leadership.
Okay.
So there was sort of a balance because people have always needed someone to be the voice. And I think that was a role that I always took very seriously, being the voice, calling out things, saying things the way they are. You get into trouble, you're in the principal's office because you said, this is BS.
Yeah.
You were vocal about it being BS. And now
you
you're
must
getting in
face
trouble
the
because
music.
If you say this and 4 people agree with you, then people are going to revolt or whatever the case is, right? So in as much as there was the chaotic side, there was also the leadership side because I think I was always the person that was behind conversations that drive us forward.
Okay.
Yeah. That are going to give us solutions.
Yeah.
That are going to ask why so what's going on, to a point where in high school one of the teachers used to call me Julius Malema, and I was like, and I used to be very offended, but in my later years, it then happened again during articles. One of the partners was like, "Name Julius Malem," and which for me now is like a title that I absolutely love.
Hold with pride.
It's good, lang taba. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what's what,
Yeah.
So initially I used to be like, why am pizza Julius? Now I'm like, vele, growing
it's
up,
a badge
I'm like,
of honor.
I was the one who was saying, I don't like the status quo, or why?
Yes.
Yeah, give us answers as to why are things the way they are. Why are we doing this way when it's unfair? That was my favorite word. Unfair. Unfair. And let's unpack why.
The more you speak, the more I'm like, you chose the right profession, but we'll unpack that. How did your mom, because I think that's who you spent the balance of your childhood with, how did she respond to your academic results? And when you'd get in trouble, was she as long as you pass, or was she very strict with very high standards? How did you navigate that?
When it came to school, my mom was unreasonably strict.
Okay.
Unreasonably strict.
Okay.
And like I keep saying, none of that made sense until I started growing up and seeing, okay, this is somebody who did not want to mess with education because she knew what an educated girl child would mean in this world, in this systemic world that we live in, patriarchal world. She absolutely was overly protective over being educated.
Okay.
Over school. Those are like the things that they were the non-negotiables. She inspired me to read because when she was getting her degree after the divorce, we didn't have like a helper or anything. So she'd go with me to the library. She'd drop my brother off at my aunt's house. and we were doing all of this study takes, guys.
Yeah.
Then we'd go to the library with her. Then I'd go to the library with her and I'd sit in the children's corner where I can just read all the Roald Dahl books and, Diary of a Wimpy Kid or whatever. Ible Sweet Valley High. And Goosebumps.
Yes, I remember those.
And some of Daniel Steele, yes. So that's where my love for reading was really cultivated.
Okay.
But she was not negotiating on education. My mom loves herself an educated woman so much. And that is one thing that I know will always be the biggest blessing of my life.
Yeah,
that
no one can take it away from you.
She would always say, like,
she's a very wise woman. Look where it's landed you now. And I think it also speaks to your work ethic, which we'll get into. What informed what you wanted to study and which varsity you went to?
So I was always going to Wits.
Okay.
And I started there, but I'll be back at that. I was always going to Wits. I don't remember applying anywhere else. It was between Wits and UCT. And I remember my mom saying to me, how about your UCT? Waka Cape Town. I'm like, she's like, and then how Kashota Kamai? You know? She literally said, how Kashota Kamai? Who are you going to ask? And I was like, imagine being in Cape Town and not having eggs. Like, I'm an egg girly. Like, I love me a scrambled egg, a fried egg.
She knows her child.
A boiled egg, poached anything egg, So, nahanang kishotaka eggs in Cape Town. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But what informed my decision to do law? So it was two things that were at the top of my list. It was either journalism, which meant that I was going to go the drama route to eventually get to journalism. Because I remember in high school, when it was time to choose topics or subjects, I chose drama because I only saw journalism through the arts route.
Okay, got you.
And when I started understanding what kind of journalism I wanted to do, it was at the time of Deborah Potter.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm going to be
Oh my
this
gosh,
woman.
I loved that woman.
I'm going to be an investigative journalist because she's out there asking why.
And she's not afraid.
She is fearless.
Yeah.
She's out there asking why. She's poking.
And she's not intimidated.
She's not intimidated. She was fearless. And I was
what was the name of the show again?
Third Degree.
Third Degree,
like,
yes.
I'm like, okay, the minute she retires, and people are going to give me the answers that I want. And I'm going to be man on the ground, I'm going to be breaking these stories first. I'm going to be the one asking people, don't turn away from the camera. We want answers. We need answers, So that's the route that I wanted to take. So at the top of the list was journalism. It was law and it was psychology.
Okay.
When it was time to apply, psychology started taking a little bit of a backseat. I think somewhere along the line, I found out that in psychology, you do something that's called stats. And they said stats was numbers.
I did stats.
And I was like, numbers, because already maths was dribbling me. Like I was just making it for maths in school. And I think in as much as my mom valued education so much, when she saw I was struggling with maths, she was like, I leave this thing. It's fine. Get your 40s, but just get that, whatever. I don't know if pass was 40 or if it was 33.
Yeah.
She was like, just get that. Just
40
get over that line of 40 and you're fine. We're not, she understood the numbers were not numbering. And they still don't. They still don't.
Join the club.
So then I wanted to either do
in law,
investigative journalism or law. But when it came to applying, then I applied for law first because when I presented the idea to my mom, I said I want to be on TV, but I didn't tell her what kind of TV I meant. And then she was like, go act on Generations. And I was like,
you put your mom through the most.
How do I say that this? But I couldn't. I didn't know it was called investigative journalism.
You didn't have the language for it.
But I knew that I want to be on TV, but this kind of TV, not the acting side, but this side. And then it really just boiled down to a conversation that somehow managed to revisit me that I had had with my late grandfather.
Okay.
And I had asked him the one time, I remember we were at my dad's house. So it's my grandfather from my dad's house. We were at my dad's house. He was visiting for the holidays. And I remember sitting by the pool with him saying that I don't understand why we have to have Christmas without my mom. And then why the other time we had to have Easter without my dad. And I was like, I really hate this thing that's going on with my parents. What's going on? And he was like, no, in order to find out what's going on with your parents, you have to study law. So in my later years, that conversation revisited me, even though he passed away shortly after that conversation. I was still in primary school. But I just see how everything was, interconnected as the years progressed. Yeah. Because I remember one of the reasons why law became interesting to me was because I wanted to understand those family dynamics. So that was it. First day of family law specifically, I remember our lecturer touched on divorce. And when she started speaking about divorce and the marriage regimes, I remember something in me just like coming alive. Something lit up. Like, the way I speak about in community today.
Oh my goodness.
It's like that kind of fire coming, burning in me. And the family law lecturer, I've forgotten her name, but she's also one of the women in my life where when I'm sitting in silence, I just remember just how amazing a woman she was to me, when at the time I thought I was the only crazy person, because she literally saw me through that first year of studies where in first year I was also pregnant.
Sure.
And she was just like my mom away from home.
Okay.
I never really had a relationship with her as the family law lecturer. But she really cared for me in ways I cannot express.
That is
I
so
could tell
rare.
that she had picked me. I could tell that she was invested in me passing the year as a whole. She was very, very, very accommodating. There were times where she'd just also be like, you must come if there's anything you didn't understand. She'd like wait for the class to finish. On my way out, she'd pick me, like single me out and be like, were you understanding the concept in the class? If there's something that you need help with, you must come and speak to me. She was really just invested to a point where even during finals, I was heavily pregnant in November, like during the finals, and I gave birth in January.
Sure.
But during finals, she was like, am I comfortable enough to sit for the paper?
Sure.
And I was. All my papers. I sat for all my papers. But she was just like, you can always, she's the one that started educating me about supplementaries. She was like, you can always come and write these next year.
Sure.
But to me, it sounded like, if I write in January.
Yeah.
And it just worked out because, my son was supposed to be born in December, but he ended up taking long and being born in January. That writing in January,
I can tell you now
worked.
that he's a very special child. He's a golden child, because us Jan babies, that's just how
he's
we
amazing. He's amazing. But, it just worked out that I ended up just saying, nope, I don't want to explore supplementaries. I want to write now in November. I still felt pretty energetic. I was 19, so I had all the energy. Now, as an adult, trying to write exams at 7 months pregnant,
it sounds
give
impossible.
Give me those supplementaries,
Yeah.
And it all worked out. I wrote in that November. The following year, I came to school, left my 5-week baby at home, and I continued. And that was because my mom was so invested in education, to a point where when I told her that I was pregnant, her first question was, what's going to happen with school? Do you want to step back or do you want to continue with school? And I said, I want to continue with school. And she said, if that's what you want, say less. And really, she raised my son.
Yeah, sure.
I did not feel like, I did feel like I disappointed my parents, but I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. She was very invested. Like, she'd see me on a Friday and she'd be like, aren't your age mates going out?
Sure.
And I'd be like, no, I'm fine. I'm just going to be with the baby. And she'd be like, there's no one your age chilling with a baby on a Friday. Go out,
Yeah.
So she was very invested in me living a full life. And I'm so grateful for that, because right now I know when to sit down. I'm not going to be bumping into my 16-year-old at the club.
No, you can't.
Because my mom was very invested in pushing me out of the house, that right now I'm not going to be at a place where I could bump into my son. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, sure. What a story. And I think I'm just so, we hear that about teachers in primary school and high school, that they were caring and invested. It's the first time I was today years old when I heard of a lecturer that was so invested and caring.
She was amazing.
Especially when you consider, we went to the same university. There were hundreds of us in that first year class. So I think, and she probably saw something in you. It's just so encouraging. And I think also how your mom supported you through the pregnancy and just looking after your son. And I'm wondering how you managed in articles. How did you find the experience? Bearing in mind that, you get to articles and you realize that university was actually just a foundation. I know absolutely nothing, all right? You're starting from the bottom. You have to study for boards or attend classes afterwards. In your case, there's a baby as well. So how did you navigate that, and what was your experience?
Is university even the key? I promise you, when I got to the door of articles, it was not fitting. There was just,
it's
even
scary.
The key? But I had a very, very, very awful articles experience. I cannot believe just how awful it was. Which also became a blessing in later years, because articles was the time when I really just was able to say, I am not doing this beyond the 2 years. Okay. And I remember being in the 2 years saying the end goal is just to get my articles over and done with.
Be admitted.
So much so that I remember one day driving to work, crying like, like.
I've gone to work crying during articles.
Your face is puffy.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, God, just 22 months left of this. Now I'm crying 2 months in. You're now negotiating with God. You're like, just 22 months. Just only 22 months. That's a long time.
It is.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
And part of the articles experience that was a shocker is when you realize finally all the conversations that the elders have been having. Because I went to schools where there were white children, where it looked like Rainbow Nation, harmony. We are kumbaya, all is well. You are there with Amy, but Kimberly is good. You all feel like you're equal. But then you get to the workplace and it's Amy's grandfather who owns the firm. You get to the workplace and it's Kimberly's father. They are not kumbayaring. They're still part of the old system, right? And that's where you start realizing something is off here. But you didn't grow up in an environment where there was no harmony. So it's a big shock. So I didn't know what it was. But there was something that was just there was a lot of resistance. And when you start having conversations later in life and start learning terms like microaggressions, start learning terms like systemic, understanding what patriarchy means in the bigger scheme of things, you finally start seeing that, that's what I was in. I just knew that it was so toxic, that I'm not valued, that I'm not prioritized. No one is invested in seeing that I become the best that I can be.
You did well.
Where I thought I'm the best, I'm with the best. There with your peers. But not beyond that. When I got into the working world and the reality of everything, of what it means to be a Black woman, what it means to be young, that is where then the conversation of mental health needed to be happening, but I didn't know.
It wasn't
at the time. Back then. It wasn't the same. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing.
You didn't even have the language to say.
We didn't have the language to say that, no, man,
I'm not coping.
I'm not coping, but it's not from lack of trying. There's something that is fighting against me and my excellence. What is it? To a point where at some point during my articles, I was like, when I'm done with this, I am building a Black company where I am going to give Black women a chance to shine, not because I want them to shine based on merit. Based on a checklist, but based on merit. I need Black women and their excellence to shine. And that also then filters into how I then started the Sisters in Conversation, where I've had requests for, please profile so-and-so. And I'm like, I can't.
Okay.
Because I have been very passionate about, I need to empower Black women in the legal profession who are smart, who are getting the accolades, or who should get the recognition, but who haven't been celebrated or who haven't been given their flowers. And I knew that I need to build something that's going to be for us, by us. Yeah.
Okay. And for someone who is going through that now, we're in 2026, but unsurprisingly, there are still issues of patriarchy, systemic. So there's that. And then there's balancing, just learning to be in a professional environment. The English is not Englishing all the time. You're studying for boards. How did you manage it? In as much as it was a difficult and dark time and you said, okay, Lord, just take me through this last 22 months. How did you get through each day? They say to eat an elephant, you bite one bite at a time. How did you get through each day for someone who's still in that place?
My favorite thing that keeps me going is, first and foremost, God. You need to find grounding. You need to find an anchor. The waters are rough, the seas are rough. You need to find an anchor. And without even wanting to cast a shadow on anything else, the reality is it is God that is going to anchor us.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say, if you are a chakrahan, lean into that. If you are zodiac, lean into that. Don't lean into God, guys.
Yeah.
My consistent prayer over the years, since the beginning of time, has always been, God, please continue reminding me that I am the missing piece. I consider myself to be a puzzle. In any environment that I find myself, whenever imposter syndrome tries to take over, I always say, God, continue reminding me that I am the missing piece of the puzzle. I feel that my presence completes the puzzle of any space that I walk into.
Sure. I am the missing piece of the puzzle. I love that.
The minute I walk into Kundi's podcast, it's complete. The minute I walk into the boardroom, it's complete. The minute I walk into the gym, it's complete. The minute I walk into my husband's life, it's complete. He can tell you now, Vele, I was the missing piece, you know? He can tell you now, I was the missing piece. Humility is not missing in his life. He knows for sure, yes, PCA, you know. I'm just trying to show you
he found a good thing and favor.
Anything. That one I'm confident of. I can still marry. But that has just always been my prayer. In my lectures, God, I'm the missing piece of what makes this lecture complete. In articles, I might be undermined. The system might be against me. Everything might be against me. My color, my gender, my age, my pronunciation, my writing style, my research style, my background, the school that I came from. But Hakikena Mo in that firm,
I am the missing piece.
It's now complete.
Yeah.
So to anybody who's feeling like maybe they don't belong, you absolutely belong. You are the missing piece of any environment you step into.
And the experience is never wasted.
The experience is never wasted. That's the reason why I'm here where I am.
Exactly. It's in hindsight where you then cross the dots and you see how, yes, it was dark and difficult, but I wouldn't be as compassionate as I am now. I wouldn't have sisters in conversation.
I wouldn't be assertive.
You wouldn't be a mentor, had you not gone through that. So yeah,
because the reason
beautiful.
why sister-in-law ended up existing as the platform it exists as is that I wish I had that. So let me be that.
Oh, love it. Love it. So now you have, God has taken you through that 22 months. You have taken that picture outside the High Court. What's the plan?
So I then said, God, thanks, but I'm thanks. I was like, I'm thanks.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where I was like, maybe law isn't for me. And then
how sad. How sad that we could have lost a good lawyer because of the environment that you were in.
But I was like, law isn't for me, but what about the promise? I already promised that I'm going to make sure that I prioritize the voice of the Black woman specifically. Then just as I got admitted, I started collective intelligence legal consultants.
Yes.
Where the focus was on, so I had now completely moved away from family law, but I wanted to educate small Black businesses, especially women-owned, with a focus on women-owned businesses, on the importance of company registrations, intellectual property protection,
getting the legalese right.
Getting the legalese right.
Like, up with
you own a salon, but do you have agreements in place with your suppliers? Because
and your employees.
And your employees. If the relaxer doesn't get there on time, it's going to disturb your business operations. You're losing money. If there's an issue with the landlord and there's no water coming to the salon, what is your recourse? You know? So I really was just trying to educate women who are sort of sole, what do they call it?
Sole proprietors
on the importance of formalizing their business structure through contracts, protecting your intellectual property, and your employees and all of that. That went on for some time. And one day, one of my clients was going through a child maintenance thing, and we were after one of our meetings, she was like, do you know anything about child maintenance? And I was like, just the little that I can recollect from varsity. And we had a conversation, and after that I was like, the fact that this is, basic information, I don't think women need to pay for this kind of legal advice. Let me start a blog. And then I started, like, literally 2 days after that conversation, it was during 2018. I had now been running the collective intelligence for 2 years. So straight after articles, I started my own thing. And I taught myself everything. I was like, I had met with a friend just earlier this week who was like, you've been busy for 10 years. Like, when are you going to just relax? She's like, even in 2016, you were already trying to get a company up and running. She's like, you've been so busy. Why aren't you burnt out? How are you still showing up? You know, just this week. But basically, I then started Sister-in-Law. It was supposed to start, it was just...
So it started as a blog.
It was a blog.
Where you
My first post was, what is child maintenance?
You address a topic and then people read about it. And how did we...
No, it was not even a formal blog. I remember the website came after. So I opened an Instagram page and a Twitter page. And a Facebook page in one evening. And then I posted. There wasn't that whole... What is it?
Repost.
Yeah, there wasn't the whole... When you post on Instagram, it posts on Facebook. Because I don't think Zuckerberg owned Instagram yet. So you had to physically post on Instagram, then go post on Twitter. And I don't recall it being as easy as copy and paste. There was just a lot of work that went into that process of posting on all platforms. And I posted there. And I'll never forget, when I had around like 36 followers, the editor of True Love magazine DM'd me, and she's like, what an incredible platform this is. And I was like, huh?
You hadn't seen it like that. No, to like, you were just helping.
And that was my first magazine feature. She's like, okay, is it possible for us to feature you in our upcoming August Women's Month issue?
Yes, I think I can make time.
I was like confused. Is this thing that great? I promise you, she was probably like follower number 37. And I was like, and she is the one who, Mbali. She's the one who really just made me believe that there's something there.
Sure.
And the platform grew to a point where one of the people who then, so that same day that I was doing the Instagram pages, I did the trademark. I get it now. I was always educating women on
you need to
why
get
it's important.
yourself right.
So I did the trademark and I registered the company.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it looked like yet, but I knew that I just want, even if I'm just doing this on Instagram, I want there to be a company. I don't know why. I hadn't yet thought of like websites or what the shape is going to take. Until then, maybe a few months down the line, somebody then said, hi, I just saw your post on whatever it was at the time. How much is your consultation fee? And I was like, what?
I can actually get paid for this. General knowledge.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
750. The next day, I get him FNB Kilogula account because I was like,
I need an account number.
Now, if I get registration papers, because I was like, I don't want this money in my personal capacity.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be under sustain law.
And build
There's
the
already
business.
a PTY.
And you know that in itself, I think entrepreneurs are just different. You didn't have the full vision, but you just knew that you need to package it correctly and safely. And I need to pour back into this business. I don't know what that necessarily looks like.
And even the same with Collective Intelligence. I had branding, beautiful logos, beautiful websites. I was like, trademark it, register it as a company. But at least with that one, I had a bit of context of what I wanted to do. And I think my biggest blessing and my curse is that execution.
I don't sit on ideas.
I don't sit on ideas. I execute. I will see forward.
Yeah, my business partner likes to say she will build the plane while
it's flying.
Yeah, and I'm like, let's look at this.
So over the years, I've had so many people ask for help in me reviewing their business plan. And I'm always like, guys, I'm so embarrassed. I can have business plan. I've never sat down.
So you had to make sure that you've got all this
I've never sat down and be like, okay, Eric gets a business plan, whatever. So much so that when I went for I had applied for Harvard Law School. When I went for the interview in front of the panel, so there's this Harvard, I just forgot what the name of the program is, but it's like a Harvard South African fellowship thing. So what you do is that you apply for Harvard. Once you get through the interviews, then the South African committee funds you to get into Harvard, but then you still now have to apply into Harvard.
Okay.
Right. But you first need to get through the funding process. So I had gotten through the funding. Then I met with the panel. And then they get you into Harvard, not necessarily law school. So Harvard, whether it's business school, whether it's medicine, whether it's this. The panel said to me, why do you want to study law at Harvard? And I gave them my answer and they said, but this incredible thing that you've built needs you to go to business school. You need to go to Harvard Business School so that you can scale sustain law. It's not a pro bono. So focusing on academics, unless you're saying when you come back from Harvard Law School, you want to be a lecturer and you want to really just focus on legal research, we don't see why we would find somebody who, you're a businesswoman. Start leaning into that. Basically, one of the panelists said, you've proved to us that you can empower people in the legal space.
And you started small.
And you've built an incredible platform. There's no doubt about where people start when they want legal information.
Yeah.
But now you need to move the business forward.
And I want you to just take us through quickly how you went from a blog to this huge thing that is sister-in-law. There is no one who doesn't know sister-in-law.
I think
you
it's
have
that
events,
execution thing.
You have rolled out to Botswana. I mean, it's incredible. And so that leap, what was the...
So I always say, whenever people are like, how did you build this thing? I'm like, firstly, it's execution, but people built this. Sister-in-law belongs to the people. Whoever that lady was that said, how much is your consultation fee? the editor of True Love. This is a thing. Can we feature it in the magazine on Women's Month?
And are you not still in True Love?
I'm still in True Love. I am the legal expert.
Yeah, the sistoli.
I'm the sistoli of law.
Yeah.
There was a woman who was like, oh, this information is invaluable. I wish we had an event that focuses on this. That's how the workshop was born 7 years ago.
Sure.
Then the mentorship program was literally...
Is that Sisters in Conversation?
Sisters in Conversation is the podcast. But before the podcast, there was a mentorship. There's still a mentorship program, which I'm only taking a break from now in 2026.
Which I want to unpack a little bit, yeah.
The mentorship program was me just going back to I wish I had something like this. And then the mentorship program was built by the students who were basically like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad to have come across this platform. It's really taught me ABC. And I'm like, no, man, let me formalize this thing. So every month we get, Kundi to come and speak to the mentees about this. And over the years, I've built it into a full house. So we get a wardrobe specialist to come and educate us on how to dress for the job that we want. We get a makeup artist to come and show us how to do basic makeup for the office. We get a financial expert to come and talk to us of how we're going to manage money from like the difference between the pocket money that we receive at varsity and that first salary. How are we going to make sure that it's not going to blow our minds?
Yeah, that first salary and then
first salary, because we are like, we have arrived. No.
So you really unpack the realities of what they are entering into.
We have a psychologist who comes and speaks about mental health awareness issues. We do visits to the Concord. Like it's an all-round mentorship program, which I really love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you invest a lot into these students, and it's going to be beautiful one day. When you see them on the bench, when you see them influencing laws.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So speaking of your mentorship program, Sisters in Conversation, which is your podcast, sister-in-law, I know you also an attorney, notary, so you're working at a law firm as well. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a sister. How, and I'm going to say, how do you balance it? Because there is no balance. And you and I were speaking off camera just around some decisions that you've taken in this year to shift things a bit. So how have you done 10 years of that? And gradually, I think, obviously it gets busier, as you go along. So how have you managed that balance? And what is this new shift?
Sure. The new shift is my new prayer. I just keep saying, God, please help me to remember to make more space for nothing.
Sure. Okay.
I am at my nothing era. I'm going to say no.
When you need to say no.
I've known this for years, but there's no ways I'm going to be able to help everyone. And I'm going to be a lot stricter on that again. You can't be all things to all people, and we learn that later.
To
all people, it's catching up with me, and it's something that I've known all these years.
Okay.
And I'm just at a point where it is going to be what it is. If I don't respond to the DM, it's fine. If somebody needs help with reviewing their CV and I say no, that's fine. If somebody needs help with preparing for an interview and I say no, that's fine. If somebody needs to find out more about the Harvard scholarship and I don't have 30 minutes to sit with them and unpack their application, that is fine.
I'll do the research that you did.
I'm just in the era where I really want to focus on my family and focus on myself. And I know we always say this, but my cup is empty. I've given the best that I can to the businesswoman, Tebello. And now I just need to just step back for a little bit and focus on the me. On right now, I'd rather spend the Saturday morning that I would have done a mentorship session. I'd rather spend it at the gym or burning waffles with my kids.
Those moments
or
that
just
you
being
can't get back.
you know,
Yeah.
I can still scroll online, but from his chest.
Yeah.
I can still put out a nice educational content from his chest while we Netflix on the iPad, you know? And I'm just going to focus on me. I would rather spend the time at the salon. I never do braids. Like I could never do this.
No,
because I'm sitting at the salon for too long. I'm going to do that now.
They are a month overdue because I don't want to go and sit at the salon.
And now I just want to make time to just have braids and not feel like I could use this time productively. And for the first time in a long time, I'm at a point where I'm just surrendering. Like, God, please direct my next steps. I don't have the burning ambition in me right now. I don't have the save the world spirit. The cup is empty. And I just want God to pour back into me. I remember also saying, even my faith over the years has dwindled. Like I used to have, and before Delulu is the solution, is the Solulu, before that even came out, I was always like, God, you know I'm delusional. This is going to work. And now I'm like, my cup of delusion is done. But that's not delusion. It's actually faith.
And you know, it's actually brave to take that shift and courageous because you don't know what's on the other side. You know, you just know what you need to do for you and what you need to do for your family. And by the way, I must say, you and your husband are so cute. I bumped into you guys at Oskido.
Oh, that was an amazing party.
It was like the 90s kids were happy. And the two of you were so cute.
Thank you.
And I've seen your vacation content. So I love that.
I love him down.
Oh, and you can just see how much he loves you as well.
I mean, I know I said I'm the missing piece, but he was the missing piece in my life.
And it takes an assured person to be with such a fireball. I would assume, you know.
Yeah, I am quite a lot.
Not dim your fire, but just be there in a supportive role. Sure. Yeah, you've done a lot. I'm wondering for someone who's sitting in high school or in varsity, what do you wish you had known then and that you know now? And what advice would you have for them if they are trying to pursue the legal route?
It's exactly what we've just said. Firstly, you're going to get everything. Just not at the same time. Secondly, you cannot be everything to everything and everyone. And
we don't get told that, hey?
Yeah.
We don't get told that.
No, my mom used to say it. She always used to be like, hey, when I did and prioritize equally. She was like, it's not possible. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, she's such a hater just because I'm popular and I've got so many friends and they all love me.
Yeah.
And it makes sense eventually. It's just, she was just trying to show you there has to be parts of you where there are just boundaries. And that's another thing. As young girls especially, you know what, even as young boys, you have to honor your boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to honor your boundaries. You have to respect people. You have to respect yourself.
Yeah.
A man who respects himself is not going to beat a woman up. A woman who respects herself
will not sit through
is not going to listen to someone who's almost her father's age about, I love you, I want to start a family with you. When you are 16.
Love has no age, they say.
When you are 16.
Oh yeah, not when you're 16.
When you are 18. When you've just started varsity. Slow down.
Yeah.
Good love is coming your way. Good fortune is coming your way. You are absolutely going to be able to afford those things. Diatla, all those things are coming your way. Slow down.
Sure. No, thank you. And I think those, you know, we get told, make sure you study and you, time block and all of this. And I think you've just slowed it down to say, look, you will get there, just don't expect to read
at the
same time and at a fast speed. You need to take in the lessons that come along the way. Now the fun stuff. Linakiteng. That's the name of the show, right?
Oh, yeah. No, Namin Kona. Yes, yeah. Okay, you just translated it.
Why did I think it's in Tswana? Or I just made it my own?
Because you're like Zulu, but you're like Namin Kona. Yeah, it's Namin Kona. But Linakiteng.
Yes, guys, I'm with a television star.
TV extraordinaire.
And that's my favorite channel, just by the way. I get judged so much. My husband judges me, my friends. I love Moja Love.
I was not watching, it's Mzansi Magic. I was not watching Mzansi
yes, 161.
Yes, 161. I was not watching it until now.
My favorite channel. So
and everyone's like, oh, is this show similar to this and that? I'm like, I don't know.
Tell us about the show. What is it about? And what is it about your contribution to the show that fulfills you? And perhaps a funny moment on camera? Or filming, a funny moment filming.
Oh, a funny moment. Okay, so being on the show is a prayer that I didn't know I had prayed. But it's something that I had been saying to myself over the years when I had actually stumbled across a show on either Moja Love or Mzansi Magic. But I remember saying, I wish that we didn't use these shows to just laugh at Black people, you know? I wish there was an element of education.
Yeah.
A show like Joop Joop Kanaging Cheaters, the South African one.
Jola 99.
A show like that is such a good time to have a doctor to come educate us on STDs, you know, or a psychologist to come and educate us on the nuances that exist in Black relationships. We need that. We need to know that it's not just about cheating, it's about the societal impact that cheating has. It's about the impact that cheating has on a person's psyche, or whatever the case is. Let's make it educational. Let's laugh, but let's make it educational. And I said, I wish there was something like that.
Yeah.
And in Namin Kona, there's the chaos of the families.
Sorry, I watched the episode with the girlfriend who had funded his studies. But that was actually funding building a house, it turns out.
The room.
Yeah, the room for his mom. And she wants her money back, and he's passed away now. He's gone.
There's nothing.
And his mom and his actual wife are just like, who are you? So yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So you see, you get into that chaos and then you educate people on, you cannot be giving away money without a paper trail, because she's just giving him cash.
And you tried. You're like, Le WhatsApp. Is there a WhatsApp? She's
anything,
like, nothing.
That we can use to show that there was an exchange.
Yeah.
And so that has been my contribution. My contribution as to, in the middle of the chaos, let's use this as an opportunity to educate and empower Black people on the importance of estate planning, inheritances, writing the will, what's going to happen to the family home. Why hasn't the family home been transferred into the names of the children? Why is the estranged uncle coming back? Why is the estranged husband coming back? Where's this? What is this? Things that Black people take for granted. One of the things that were very humbling, if I can put it that way, is when we were recording at one of the family's homes, but we were on the outside. And so obviously when we're on the outside, passerbys can hear everything that's going on. And then there was a older man, like from the community. And afterwards he's like, Ceci, please, can I speak to you? And I'm like, sure. And he was very like elderly, you know? And he was like, you kept on mentioning a document, this will, what is it?
Aww.
And I was like, we take this for
granted. You take it for granted, hey?
And he was just like, I found this mind-blowing. I'm going to go and do this for my family.
Aww.
Oh, okay, so more willing, must I write my house where it must go to? I'm like, yes. Are you married? He's like, no, my wife passed away 10 years ago. So now this is the situation and I'm putting Mang through school. I'm like, hey, how your pension, you must say this must go to whoever, the house must go to whoever. And he's like, where can I get that done? And I said, at a law clinic. He didn't have an email address or anything, but I said, no, you need to go to like legal aid during the week. He was like, no, Ible, I go to Pretoria a lot. I'm going to go next time when I'm in Pretoria, I'm going to look for this legal aid thing. And he was just like, He never knew that such a document existed.
We take these things for granted. Hey, my candidate attorney was showing me someone who asked Black Twitter or LLB Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't even know. LLB Twitter about, it had something to do with community. Customary marriage, and he or she was like, can I just move on to the next marriage? Is there something that must happen in between? And people with their chests were commenting saying, oh no, just send your uncles, and then if they have a conversation with your family, the marriage is over. And we had a discussion with my candidate attorney to say that, we take it for granted that people know this information and they don't, but also more dangerous, misinformation. So it's so...
And these are conversations that we are also just casually having at Bryce.
Yeah.
No, just write a letter.
Yeah. And for you to, I think the scale of the audience that you're exposed to, I think there's an opportunity to really do good and to really educate people on things that, we take for granted.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
So now, but the funny part behind the scenes. Yeah, so just to tie that up, I really am grateful for being able to package that in such a way that in the middle of the chaos, we can laugh at, the families and what they're going through and whatever, but at least the show ends with here's the takeaway. Prioritize this. Prioritize marriage contracts, prioritize wills, prioritize, keeping a life file and all of that. But one of the episodes I got there, and the guy said to me, he's like, I hear you're a lawyer, but where's your, basically in short, he's like, where's your right of appearance? Like, you can't come into my house. Tell me that you're a lawyer. How do I know that you're an attorney?
That time you look young.
And I'm like, okay, can you Google me? He's like, what if you just constructed a Google page before you came here to my house? And now when I search for your name, it's going to tell me everything that I want.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm not speaking to you until you can show me that you're a lawyer. I'm like, okay. I take my phone out. I show him a copy of my degree and whatever. And then he's like, police arrest mo. Mara alna di handcuff, limponsa picture ya di handcuff. What am I supposed to do with the picture of your
Who drives
degree?
Around with their degree? Guy, no. No, you see it all. Yeah, it's like...
the whole time, and he's the culprit. We need answers from him. He's just like, I'm not talking to you until I know that you're an attorney. And I'm just like... He did not want the Google.
Yeah.
He told me, this is just like, I'm coming to arrest you, but handcuffs. Here's a picture of handcuffs. I'm a cop. Let's go. He was like,
it's wild. It's wild.
I was finished that day.
But you handle it very calmly. You're very calm. You're very clear. So I'm sure that...
No, I managed to get the answers eventually. Yeah.
So, fun parts. These cups are not actually for drinking.
Oh.
I want you to... pick. No, there's no water. It's our last surprise question.
Oh, great.
And then you can go back to your family and your husband's chest. Read us what is on.
Ooh,
Happy. Wow, okay. The question is...
I spoke about him so much.
Yeah.
At time.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned from him? Or your biggest inspiration that you draw from him? So there were different people there, and we got hubby.
To listen.
Okay.
To listen. To listen. In the beginning of our relationship, I used to be so frustrated that he would just sit there. And I'd be like, don't you have anything to say? And he'd be like, I'm listening to you so that I can answer. And when
are we living the same life?
And when he would then start talking, and I'd be like, but he'd be like, I listened to you. I let you finish.
Because we want to give blow by blow feedback on what we're getting.
You're saying.
Yeah. And when you don't get it, it
just says, I listened to you.
Now keep quiet.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
So he's taught me how to listen.
Yeah.
And
it's a skill.
The power of listening is so incredible that when you do open your mouth, there isn't going to be a single person that can dispute what you've said.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That is a great note to end it on. I'm going to try listen better. And I'm not going to be so hard on my husband because he'll just, and I'm like, don't you have a reaction? And he's like, I want you to finish. And then,
and it's frustrating.
It is.
But
that's why we have our girls who can give you blow by blow reactions. And then there's hubby. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thought I knew you, but I learned so much about your journey. I didn't know that you lived in Zim at some point. And just watching the trajectory of your career, you have done very well. I know that you inspire many, myself included.
Thank you.
And we just wish you the best going forward. I'm glad that you were brave enough to take the shift that you're taking this year. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for not saying no to me.
I told you I'm in my year of nothingness. But thank you so much. I will always celebrate these kind of platforms. We need to have conversations. Conversations are the birthplace of action. So keep this up. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's have these conversations. The thing that I enjoy most about conversations, other than it being the birthplace of action, is that conversations are the only affirmation that we're not going through things alone and that you're not crazy. That you're not crazy. You're like, oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, sure. Conversation is the birthplace of action.
Absolutely.
Love it. We're going to end it there. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tebello, our first guest of 2026. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Thank you.
Bye.